an all-German front row of Nico Rosberg as well lining up. So we've got 5 red lights for the Italian Grand Prix, and we're off. Escaping slipstream, powering past Scott and the German with DRS, I might add. Nico Rosberg in the Mercedes goes round the outside of Scott. It's going to be tight. Scott's going to give him the space. Fair driving for the both of them, but Nico Rosberg comes out better of him. Round the outside and down the inside, maybe. No, round the outside into the chicane. He's going to make the move stick, and yes, he's into second place there. Hey there guys, Aarava here, bringing you my F1 2013 career mode with Scott Jenson. And I know it's been a while since I put out a video on this channel. Very sorry, just been very busy. I hope you guys understand that. And if you are looking forward to Formula PlayStation, that will be tomorrow as well. So here with career mode with Scott Jenson, we're here at Singapore under the floodlights. And it's going to be a very interesting race as we qualified on pole position here, nonetheless, on Sauber on Legend AI. And here's actually what happened on the end of Scott's pole lap. Going through the last corner and just getting on the curb and spinning around, smashing that wall and smashing into the barrier across the line, and you still managed to get pole. It was obviously, as you can see, full wet qualifying, smash and slide across the line, and what a way to end a pole lap, really. So pole position here for Scott, and it'll be a good one indeed, and we're gonna have to see how the race goes, really. And you know, it's gonna be interesting to see if the pace was just there in the wets or if it's going to translate onto the dry. We'll have to see, really. So we're going to go through 93% chance of rain in the race, so it will be probably raining at some point in the race. So we're going through Scott's setup here, and it's a pretty decent setup for the wet and dry, and obviously 93% of rain. As you can see, we've got the option tyres on the Super Softs, so it will be starting dry at the beginning and then going to wets at least. So at least intermediates and maybe full wets. We'll have to see how it goes, really. And looking at the pit stop strategy, only a 2-stop, surprisingly, for Singapore. Quite surprising, actually. That's only a 2-stop, but there we go. And we're going to the grid now, and we're going to see how Scott fares here on pole in this Sauber. And I believe this is his first pole position of the season, so very amazing stuff's happened here with the Sauber team. Obviously, this is on Legend AI as well, so a very good job there. So we're going to see how things pan out for this Singapore Grand Prix. We've got Sebastian Vettel, Fernando Alonso bouting for the title this season, but looks like we've got a few spanners in the mix with Scott here on pole position. There we go, and that nice shiny, quite dark looking Sauber under the floodlight of Singapore. It always brings out the colours of the car in a really deep and dramatic fashion. So the Sauber looks completely black here. But so we're going on to 5 red lights for the Singapore Grand Prix. Scott Jenson on pole, and we are off, and he's using a bit of curse. Alonso has had a brilliant start. The Ferrari is very good at starts, obviously. Side by side, already into first Alonso, but Scott's going to go around around the outside of Alonso. Alonso just manages to not lose his front wing there, and Scott is into first place, and he's going to try and move on and try and stay out that DRS zone. But out onto lap 6, the tyres are getting really worn at this point, and they're going to go into the and Scott's going to go into the pits now, and it's starting to spit with rain here, but Hamilton is staying out, and so Scott's in for the pits right now. But as you can see there, it's starting to spit rain here. Alonso's in, so it's starting to spit rain. So maybe Scott could have kind of braved it out and maybe gone 1 or 2 more laps and then gone straight into the intermediates, but no, he feels it's time to go into another set of options this time. As you can see, we're just checking to see where everyone else is doing. It seems like some people have started on the prime tyres, so those guys will be able to jump a few people. Hopefully Scott, being first straight off the bat, will be able to push on with these fresh options. Maybe for, you know, I think probably 3 laps until the ints are needed, and he can make up some time there on these fresh options, which are probably a few, you know, I'm guessing a few seconds faster than the worn ones, because on this track, it's some, you know, traction is very crucial through the slow corners. So now onto lap 8 now, going through, and we're catching Jean-Eric Vergne here. He's in first place. He's on the prime tyres, as you can probably guess, so that's why he's in first place. But yes, the engineer is telling Scott that it's too wet now, he needs to go on the intermediates and go into the pits. He's coming into the pits, and Vern is taking his time, and actually, wow, Scott jumps Vern in the pits. It's, oh god, Vern has to give Scott some room there. So Scott being very clever indeed and going down the inside, cutting the little area where you can go, and he's got ahead of Vern. So he's basically made sure he's going to get into first place here. Into first place still on the intermediate tyres now. It's time for the wet stint to the end of the race now, we've been told with the forecast. So Scott is into first place on those intermediates. The intermediates work well here, the conditions, although he's going to have to watch out too when it's about to switch to wet, because actually the intermediates work quite a treat up until it's time for wet tyres, and they completely fall off. As I'm talking, Felipe Massa there in second place, so Massa starting on the prime tyres has gained so much time. He's up into second place here with Scott, so that's very good for him. Good strategy work from the Ferrari boys there. And on to lap 30 now. We can see we're on the full wet tyres right now. It absolutely chucking down with rain. Scott loses the rear. Rosberg's going to try and overtake him, and it is such a monsoon here in Singapore. Just wow, just such a dramatic change from when we had the dries to the intermediates to the wets. Very interesting race here. Rosberg is going to try and overtake Scott now on the second last lap of the Grand Prix. The Mercedes car, more power, goes down the outside of this corner, but Scott's going to hang it through. Be brave. The rear's going to go a tiny bit. He's going to catch it kind of nicely. Now we're cutting. Oh God, no! We've cut to what's happened here. Many problems have happened there for Scott. Many problems have happened there. We've cut to, he's gone wide there. We cut to him going wide at the hairpin. He's lost 2 places there, so he's not leading the race anymore. He's slipping and sliding, and he's down into third place currently from first place on the second last lap of the Grand Prix. And on the last lap of the Grand Prix, under pressure by Mark Webber, he goes wide, cuts across to get back on track. Mark Webber going round, touching him wide, and then touching. They go to the sideboard. Oh God! It's gone even worse for Scott. Down to no, whoa! He's taken out Hamilton. Down to, what's that, 10th place now. 1 point for Scott Jenson. This is terrible stuff. Nico Rosberg wins the race, but this is such terrible stuff to see for Scott. He was leading the Grand Prix for all 30 laps. Lap 30 went down to 3rd place, and lap 31 down to 10th. This has been such an anti-climax of a race for Scott here. Into 10th place. 1 point for Scott. That's such a disappointing Grand Prix for him. But guys, if you enjoyed this episode, please give it a like. I know it's been a struggle to get videos out consistently. I've just had no time, really. Such busy times right now with exams and whatnot. But please give it a like if you enjoyed it. It will really support. And comment below on what you thought. I hope you guys will understand I can't upload as frequently as I used to. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed it. It's such a gutting race for Scott there. Obviously very disappointed. And that's just a wow. That's just a kick in the teeth, really. So we're going to pass it over to Jeff to take through the results, and I'll see you guys next time. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Oh, it was an absolute stunner of a Grand Prix as Nico Rosberg takes the lead of the Grand Prix on the second last lap of the Singapore Grand Prix. Fernando Alonso comes in second place. Mark Webber finishing off the podium, and Scott Jenson into 10th place at the end. Very poor result for him. Only 1 point. He stays in 7th place behind Kimi Räikkönen, the Iceman, and ahead of Romain Grosjean, the Frenchman. And in the Constructors' Championship, Sauber and McLaren have overtaken Toro Rosso. Sauber still trying to close in on McLaren there to try and get that coveted fifth place there in the Constructors. But all in all, it's been quite a depressing day for Sauber and for Scott. They could have got their first win. Sauber get the first win in Formula 1. And it could have been Scott's second win of the season in his rookie season. But it was an absolute stunner of a Grand Prix. And we'll see you next time for, I've forgotten which Grand Prix it is. I'm sorry, I don't have it here on my notes. But I will see you then. I hope you've enjoyed this whole race. And we'll see you next time. Hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. I've been Jeff. And I'll see you next time.